Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage the Honorable Karen Dunn Kelley, Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Commerce.
Good morning, and I hope you are all enjoying the conference as the days go by here. This morning I'm here, and it is really a pleasure and an honor to introduce the 14th United States Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry. Prior to joining the Trump administration to lead America's main nuclear safety, traditional energy, and alternative energy agency, Secretary Perry served as the 47th governor of the state of Texas between 2000 and 2015. As governor, Secretary Perry led the great state of Texas in an unprecedented 14 consecutive years. That makes him the 10th longest serving governor in United States history. After his first 2 terms in office, the people of Texas elected Secretary Perry for an unprecedented 3rd term as governor. And why? The reason is simple. He got things done. As governor, Secretary Perry oversaw the rejuvenation of Texas after the Great Recession, bringing down unemployment rates from the peak of 8.3% in 2009 to 4.5% when he left office, while keeping Texas's unemployment at rates below the national average. As Texas economy grew enormously during his tenure, annual GDP rates estimated for Texas showed growth of $931 billion economy in 2000 to a $1.49 trillion economy in 2015. That's a growth rate of over 60%. At the same time, Texans' real per capita income grew by $10,000 or 23%, far higher than the national rate. Secretary Perry can rightly take credit for much of Texas' economic growth during his tenure. While governor, he pushed for pro-growth policies and tax reform. He signed into law a $15.7 billion property tax cut in 2006. Furthermore, he presided over a profound period of foreign direct investment in Texas. In 2016, foreign buyer sale volume in Texas accounted for 15% of all sales in the state. Wow, it is up from 2% in 2008, quite a growth. What's more, Secretary Perry provided during his time as governor that pro-growth economic agenda to go hand in hand with prudent environmental policy. As state population and workforce grew by millions, Texas saw a reduction in CO2 and improved air quality during his governorship. Secretary Perry is leading the Department of Energy at an exciting time. He is overseeing a revolution in alternative energy sources as the United States is achieving energy independence and becoming a net exporter of fuel to markets around the world. With this, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the United States Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry.
Well, you said it just like I wrote it.
Well, you did.
Thank you, Karen. I told Karen, I said, golly, you gave it just like I wrote it down for you. So everybody ready to move to Texas now, right? That's awesome. So be sure and tell now Senator Scott and then former Governor Scott, we used to have this great competition between the states, and that still goes on, I'm sure. But anyway, Deputy Secretary Kelley, I'm delighted to get to be here and share with you again, all of you who I think this is our 3rd time to be at the SelectUSA Investment Summit, and I want to say a special thanks to Secretary Ross. He's hung out at the White House for a little bit. He continues to be an incredibly valued part of the administration and giving great advice. We've got some leadership from the country of Poland in town today, so some great opportunities there. And our other colleagues, I know that you've either heard from already, including Secretary Sonny Perdue over at the Department of Agriculture, a great and good farmer governor, I might add, and then Secretary Mnuchin as well. I don't know, I think they may have already spoken today, but anyway, you've had a great group of people representing the administration here. Some of you have traveled long distances, and I want to say thanks for making the effort to come and to roll into Washington, D.C. today. And I think there's never been a time with more possibilities, and I'm excited about all these possibilities that we see and engage in a lot of opportunities around the globe. And I assure you that there's no better place to do business than in the United States of America. There's not a better country to invest with than the United States. We're home to more direct investment from abroad than any other nation on this globe. We got a total of $4 trillion in 2017. And those investments support more than 7 million U.S. jobs and drive more than $60 billion in R&D investment. And so I think the question is appropriate. Why should you invest in the U.S.? By investing in this nation, you're investing in a place, and I might add in a people, with an unmatched record of world-changing innovation. As Secretary of Energy, I get to see that firsthand, particularly in the area of energy production, also in a host of other areas as well. And it's thanks to innovation. We now are an energy superpower. You recall back 15 years ago, a short period of time, we were told that we had found all the energy that there was to find, that even if we found any new sources of fossil fuel in particular, that it was going to be exorbitantly expensive to develop. And conventional wisdom said that this was the new reality, this was the new normal. Fast forward, with American technology, American innovation, and we are in the dawn of a new energy era in the world, and the United States is leading that. Today, those innovators, those energy investors, not only are enjoying this new day, this dawn of the new energy era, but we have a great friend in the White House. Under the President's leadership, we are now producing energy more abundantly, more affordably. We're using it more cleanly and more efficiently. And I might add, we're obtaining it from a wider range of energy sources than anyone ever thought possible. And as a result, jobs are back, prosperity is back, the economy is booming. And rather than being energy dependent on, in some cases, unfriendly nations, we are now sharing our energy bounty and our technology with friends and allies around the globe. Today, we are the #1 oil and gas producing country in the world, and we expect to contribute to 1/2 of the entire world's growth of oil and gas production between now and the year 2025. You think about it, I mean, that is a stunning set of numbers and a stunning turnaround. 2 years ago, the United States became a net exporter of liquefied natural gas for the first time since 1957. And today we are shipping LNG to 36 nations on 5 continents. We're also making incredible progress in renewables like wind and solar. Over the past 2 years, our nation's solar energy production has expanded by an astounding 85%. We expect that wind generation will surpass hydro for the first time this year, and that by next year, by 2020, renewables will produce almost 20% of the total power in the United States. And we continue to lead the world in reducing energy-related carbon emissions. You heard that right. In nearly, well, I should say for nearly 2 decades, the United States has reduced more of these emissions than any other nation on earth. And we've done it without surrendering one single fuel, one bit of growth, one iota of opportunity. We've done so by saying no to these onerous regulations that some would use, and yes to innovation. Much of that innovation has come from places like the Department of Energy's national labs. Over the years, our scientists at those labs, I tell people this is the most interesting job I've ever had. Not the best job. I still believe being the governor of Texas is the best job I've ever had. But this is the most interesting job. And when you think about these national labs and the areas that they have changed, the innovation, the technology that you've seen, whether it was, these scientists and engineers over there that decoded DNA, they helped kickstart the development of the internet, they brought safe drinking water around the globe, they pioneered nuclear safety modeling, they've assisted in the shale gas revolution that's going on, they've ignited the LED revolution in lighting that's occurring. They are powering spacecraft to other planets. That's a fascinating portfolio, to say the least. Last year, we made direct investments of nearly $15 billion to the National Lab System. And I will tell you, that is an incredible value that we're receiving back as a people, and not just in the United States, but globally. According to a recent paper from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, between 1996 and 2015, academic technology transfer contributed up to $1.3 trillion in gross industrial product, almost $600 billion in gross domestic product, and 4.3 million jobs. Yet, that's a great story, but I'd like to see more. And I'd like to see an even greater return on our innovation portfolio, as well as find new ways to boost our economic competitiveness and bolster our national security. And one of the best ways we can do it is by partnering with the private sector. And to make it happen, we've increased the profile, we've expanded the portfolio of our Office of Technology Transfer and Chief Commercialization Officer. And we've brought a number of innovative programs under the stewardship of that program. So in addition to supporting industry incubators like chain reaction innovations at Argonne National Lab, the cyclotron road at Berkeley Lab out on the West Coast, giving researchers and entrepreneurs access to our national labs that helps further develop their energy and science technologies. So in addition to that, we've also continued to hold a series of Innovation X Labs. These are events that are designed to cultivate engagement between the Department of Energy and the private sector. As a matter of fact, I spoke at our most recent X Lab Summit in Oak Ridge, Tennessee at the Oak Ridge National Lab, and we focused on advanced manufacturing. As a matter of fact, last week, Secretary Ben Carson was on the Mall, where he's showing manufactured housing, but it's 3D manufactured housing that comes from this type of technology that's coming out of our national labs. He also drove a 3D manufactured vehicle that Oak Ridge National Lab had helped build. So, I mean, there's just fascinating work going on that's starting at our national labs with private sector partners that is then commercialized into things that really matter to the citizens of this country. And listen, I think you can see here firsthand, I'm pretty excited about the work that that's happening at our national labs. And they're also home to the 3 fastest supercomputers in the world. 5 of the 10 fastest supercomputers in the world reside at our national labs that are operated by the Department of Energy. And the next generation exascale machines are just now, well, very soon coming online. We're going to be able to, both in machine learning and artificial intelligence, start making impacts in the world, whether it's on medicine, whether it's on a host of different areas that are truly world-changing. AI has already been used to make energy exploration more accurate. They optimize the security of our electrical grid system, increasing energy efficiency. DOE-fueled AI is also being used to reduce traffic jams, strengthen our cybersecurity, predict extreme weather, improve emergency response, and even develop better treatments for cancer and traumatic brain injury. Every one of us, this starts becoming very personal. It becomes something that is not just some faraway idea that government's putting some money in. What's happening at our national labs, what's happening at the Department of Energy, working with our private sector partners, is real impact on real people's lives. If you have a family member with one of those maladies, and the work that's being done at our Department of Energy labs is saving their lives, literally, or making their existence better, then I hope you see that this beginning, this dawn of this new energy era, if you will, it's not just about the fuels that we have, but it's a host of different areas that artificial intelligence and the revolution that is creating is fundamentally going to be transformational, just as much as the Industrial Revolution was before. That's why DOE will continue to build on its global leadership in high-performance computing. We're not just benefiting this nation and our people, but we're literally benefiting the world. Now, another way to promote public-private partnership is through supporting domestic energy projects, expanding our LNG export projects. Matter of fact, that we were just with our friends from Poland signing a new memorandum of understanding on the civil nuclear side of things, as well as a LNG contract, long-term contract, sending that LNG halfway around the world. The bottom line is this: the Department of Energy is and has been and will continue to be your champion here at home. And that, more than any other reason, is why we are gathered here today. The world is very eager to engage with America's energy industry. I know that. I stay on the road a lot. Back last week from 3 different countries in Europe, and the week before that, and to other areas around the globe and South America. So, you know, whether it's expanding the LNG infrastructure opportunities in Europe, whether it's securing the import agreements for U.S. coal to the Near East, or sharing promising emission-reducing technologies worldwide, the American energy company represented here in this room have a tireless advocate at the Department of Energy, and I especially appreciate your interest in investing in this nation. And I hope you will come away with a sense of the incredible work that's going on in energy, in technology, in innovation, and you're figuring out how you can be a part of that. So I think if there's a big open for business sign right now in this country, and investing in America. By doing that, you are investing in Americans, in the people, in the individuals, in this proudly innovative, energetic, and free people. And you're also investing in America's future and all the tremendous promise that that has. Thank you.